Hawaii, known for its beautiful beaches, beautiful volcanoes, and some of the most gorgeous nature out there, second only to maybe Australia, but I don't know if you've seen the things that are lurking in Australia. Definitely something that I would like to stay away from, because I think everything out there wants to kill you. And what better way to get up and close with all the beautiful marine life than sticking your head in the water and hoping not to run into a large shark. And I'm only sort of kidding. Seriously though, snorkeling in Hawaii is an out-of-this-world experience, as long as you don't have a crippling fear of the ocean, of course. But if you're able to make your way out there, you will be able to see some of the most exotic and beautiful underwater landscapes and marine life that you have ever seen. And today I'm going to be taking you on 2 adventures to some of my favorite spots in Hawaii. The first one being where we set sail off the coast of Maui to a little remote island called Lanai. And the second, where we take a kayak trip through the treacherous waters of Oahu to one of the twin islands called Moku Nui, which sounds straight out of Bionicles. So strap in and grab your underwater goggles and your weird breathing tube and join me on an aquatic adventure of a lifetime to Hawaii. If I didn't edit myself being underwater in that take, I think that would look really ridiculous. So first up is a little island off the coast of Maui called Lanai. And to get out there, unfortunately, you cannot swim. You do got to get a tour to get a boat out there, unless you got your own boat, in which case, please let me come with you. But once you get on the boat and start making your way out there, the trip alone is a breathtaking experience with clear waters and fresh air. And sometimes you get to see dolphins swimming next to your boat. And I always wondered, why do they do that? So I just looked it up, and apparently the reason that the dolphins jump around your boat like that is because they like to play in the waves that are created by your boat, which just makes it so much more adorable. Freaking love marine life. But once you get to the island and dive into the water, you'll get to see some of the most diverse and exotic marine life that you have ever seen. And the landscape alone is something that is truly out of a film. They got caves, they got lava formations, like you name it. And I'm not a marine life expert, but I do enjoy cool looking fish and vibrant colors, and that there's just truly an unlimited amount of that. Unfortunately, the tour is limited to a certain time, so you will not have time. I feel like there is not enough time to truly explore all of the beautiful things that those waters have to offer of the island, but I tried my darnest. And I know the footage doesn't truly capture everything and how beautiful it is, but that's also because that was my first time using the GoPro, and I was using the snorkeling, the full face mask with a attachment for a GoPro, which I will not be using again because that is a weird design. Like, who puts a GoPro like right here? You gotta, like, you're swimming like this snorkeling, and it doesn't work very well. I know it seems like it would, but just trust me, it does not. But next time I'm just gonna hold it in my hand and just make it that much easier. And then even on the way back from the island, the tour does not end, because you might, if you're lucky, get to see some beautiful whales. And I've never seen whales in my life, so seeing this was just breathtaking. And I swear these whales were paid actors, because they were dancing around, they were making their whale noises, and it's truly like, how much do they pay you? You know, like, there's no way that, like, this is nature. It's incredible. So Hawaii has many islands, and Maui is just one of them, and happens to be my favorite. I find that island to have the most beautiful wildlife and nature you can find. But to be fair, I've only been on 2 of the islands, so take what I say with a grain of salt. So the first trip I described is from Maui, and the second trip was on the island of Oahu. This is also a very beautiful island. It is smaller, and it is much more urban than Maui, which is why I like Maui better. But it's still Hawaii, and it's still got all of the beautiful nature, and it just has it in a different style. And I really appreciated that. And it's got a bunch of other things to do, but snorkeling is definitely something that can be done honestly on any island, but this is my second favorite spot. And to get there, it is much easier than on Maui. Since you don't have to book a tour, you can just hop on a kayak, which I guess you do have to rent, but you're in control of your time, which is something that I wish I had on the other one. I wish there was more time. But once you get the kayak and make your way out there, it can be a little wavy, and it's not easy to get there sometimes. I would recommend checking the weather, making sure that the waves aren't too bad. So these 2 little islands are off the coast of Kailua Beach, and their full name is the Makalua Islands, but they are shortened for Mokes Islands, which are both really fun names to say. And specifically, the one that you are able to go to, because I believe the other one's not accessible, is Moku Nui. And that island is incredible on its own. It's a little tiny, and when I say tiny, I mean really tiny. You can walk around the whole island. And when you do, I do highly recommend you bring water shoes, which are like the rubbery shoes that you can walk around. You can look it up, but it's parts of it is like a lava formation island, so it's got a lot of sharp edges on parts of it, and I was very happy that I had shoes on when I was walking around there. And that's the incredible part about making your way out to these islands, is that you can explore and walk around and see the beautiful formations. And one of the most coolest things, before I talk about the snorkeling, is that there is this little section of it that it is a little bit of a climb to get to, but it's called the Queen's Bath, the Royal Bath, as you will, which is like just a little pool of collected ocean water that's, I guess, has gotten the waves, somehow was formed, and if you dive in there, it is extremely salty, because I guess it's just collected salt, since it's not connected to the ocean. And if you dive in there, you will just float. It is a really cool experience, and it feels really weird, but if you're out there, definitely dive in. It's amazing. But then once you do, you can make your way to the other part of the island and dive into the water to go snorkeling. And while you're swimming around in the waters of Moku Nui Island, you'll get to really take in the kind of isolated and wild landscape that has formed around this island underwater. It's amazing. That's the best way I can describe it. The snorkeling on Moku Nui Island isn't quite as breathtaking as on Maui, but it does have its own kind of unique flavor to it, and it's a whole adventure in one package, which makes it a worthy trip. But between the 2, I definitely prefer Maui. So if you are kind of on the fence between deciding which one, I'd always, if you love nature, if you like wildlife and marine life, I would always recommend to go to Maui. And if you have a little difficulties adapting to wildlife and nature, but you do want to just dip your toes in it a little bit, then I think I would recommend going to Oahu, which still has a lot of the city and it's a lot more touristy, which I don't particularly love as much, but it's still a worthy trip. I would say the pros and cons of the Moku Nui is, the adventure, the having your own, setting your own schedule, making your own time. I think the benefits of the Oahu adventures is that you get to kind of do it on your own time, and it is a little more adventurous versus the tour on the other one. But it's up to you whether you like to have kind of set your own schedule, or to book a tour, or be a fancy pants and have your own boat on Hawaii. But whether you like snorkeling or you're into just the wildlife, Hawaii are just beautiful islands that I'll always recommend to go check out at some point in your life. It is a little bit on the pricier side of vacations, but like it's a must to visit, and I've been there twice now, and I gotta say that I will definitely be back again. So out of these spots, which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like these videos and would like to see more, please give me a like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.